Hi there, and welcome to this inaugural episode of the Child Care Bridge. I am so thankful that you're here, and I promise you that you are in the right place if you want to learn how to expand your child care center, if you want to learn how to find and recruit amazing staff, if you want to learn how to get to full enrollment and a wait list around the block, this is going to be the show for you. So in this episode today, I just want to give you a few more details as to the format of the show, why I promise you that you're in the right place, and I'm going to end with just a little bit of background information about me. Most people like to start and give their bio and their background, but instead, I want to give you the reasons as to why. Why should you spend a little bit of time with me each and every week? And why that time will end up being the difference maker in your center, plain and simple. So the format of the show, it's going to be structured with some ability for flexibility. So I'm going to do a few different things, and I'm going to make sure that every single week I record a solo episode like this. Those topics are going to range from marketing to recruiting and retaining staff to conducting great tours to core values and vision and mindset and all of the things that go into growing and managing your business. All different kinds of topics. As you're going to hear and learn, my background is in marketing and my background is in entrepreneurship. So I'm also going to bring in some guest experts. They're going to be people that own some of the biggest software tools in the childcare space. They're going to be people that just have an immense amount of industry experience in addition to me, that they're going to add another dynamic. And they're going to be able to share with you some of the other things that they're seeing. Simple examples could include software tools, people that are selling the school buses and those fun buses that you're buying, playground equipment, acquisitions, again, more things relating to recruiting and hiring, and kind of just beyond and beyond. I've got a pretty big wait list so far of the people that we're going to be interviewing. And as I bring them on, it's not going to be a let me sell you something. It's going to be, this is what I'm seeing in the industry. Here are some ways that you can take what I'm sharing with you to immediately start to implement these things in your business. You're going to learn very, very quickly that I adopt a methodology of what I like to call sloppy success. And what I mean by that is not necessarily a sloppy business, but I want you to start to get focused and methodically focused on execution, taking those tiny wins, even though it may not be perfect, it's going to start to move you in the right direction. I like to say hitting singles. My son plays travel baseball, so I often will use some baseball methodologies, and I like to say I'm a huge fan of just consistently hitting singles. You don't have to knock it out of the park every single time, but I'm going to encourage you with every single episode that I do to give you one or two pieces of action that you can swiftly put into play. Very, very swiftly put into play. We're not going to just be talking theory and talking high level. It's going to be actionable stuff that you can take to the bank. The other thing you're going to start to very quickly realize that in addition to you taking action, I'm going to be heavily focused on wanting to make sure that you are expanding your business, not just from an enrollment perspective, but financially. In working in this industry for many, many, many years, I've realized that all of you are just amazing people. I have met some of the most caring and just amazing human beings on the planet. But often you're putting your needs last. You're putting the needs of your family last. And I've seen, multi-center locations, for example, and the owner hasn't taken a salary in 3 years. We're not going to go down those rabbit holes. I'm going to give you tools, tips, strategies to start to turn those things around so that you first are going to get taken care of. You first. If you can't be taken care of, how can you care for your staff and all the students and kids that you're working with on a daily basis and all of those families if in the end your needs aren't being met, or you're going home and you're lying in bed at 10 o'clock at night wondering how you're going to pay your bills, but you're thinking of that on one side, and you've kind of got one monkey on your back that's thinking that, and the other monkey on the other side is, well, at least my staff is taken care of and all of our families. I need both of those taken care of, and we're going to work extremely hard to make that happen. Extremely hard. So one format of the show, again, is going to be just a condensed topic, solo episode with me, just giving you some piece of information that I'm seeing in real time that's working. Not something that worked 5 years ago, but what's working today. The industry and the landscape has drastically shifted in the last 6 to 12 months. So as you hear about my bio at the end of this, you're going to see that I'm working with childcare centers day in and day out. So I can bring you what's working now, and also what's going to be working in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, because not only am I looking at what's working now, but I need to also bring you what's going to be working next year and the year beyond so that you can be ahead of that curve, not behind. The second format, again, is going to be, I'm going to bring on all different types of childcare vendors, tools, software companies. A whole variety of different companies. They're going to be things that you're using on a daily basis, so they can share with us not more about their tool or what they do, but this is what I'm seeing is working in the landscape. This is what I'm seeing with other clients and other centers that I'm working with. The final episode, and I'm excited about all of these, but the final type of episode I'm going to do is I'm in the process as we speak of interviewing centers that have been beaten up, but they have this drive, this passion to make it out on the other side. And what I have vowed to do is to personally invest up to $100,000 of my own cash, of resources, time, team, etc. And we're going to transform this center in front of your eyes. Every single piece of the process is going to be documented. So if we're talking and having really difficult conversations about team, about financials, about marketing, about website, about terrible one-star reviews, they're all going to be recorded and broadcasted for everyone to see and everyone to learn from. And it's not that I'm looking to beat up a center and tell, oh my God, everything that you're doing is absolutely terrible. That's not the case. It's to show you this is how step by step by step by step you can improve your overall business. Not every single one of those steps is going to apply to you. You might say, Michael, my team are all A players. They're absolutely amazing, but we don't have enough leads and we're not doing enough tours to get full and to open up another location, etc. So then you're going to start to grab those bits and pieces as we're going through the process with that particular center. And then you're going to grab the marketing stuff. But I'm going to broadcast that for everyone to see. And it's going to be just step by step by step and a transformation in real time. So those are the three different types of episodes I'm going to do. Now, every week I'm going to make sure that I'm doing at least one episode for you. So I'm going to make sure solo episode every single week, regardless. And then I'm going to aim to interview at least 2 to 3 vendors every month. So probably every other week, I'll sprinkle one of those in. And in terms of these live transformations with the center, I would love to be doing at least one a week, hopefully more. And as I start to kind of go in that process, I will be able to broadcast all of that for you. The reason that you want to be here, among others, is that I am seeing this being the most pivotal time in the childcare industry. I am seeing more changes in the last 12 months than I have seen in the last 5 years combined. There are hiring challenges more than I have ever seen in my career. There are enrollment challenges more than I've seen in my career. The way that parents and families are buying and touring and asking certain questions, that has changed more than I have ever seen in my career. Everything is changing. And if you don't get on that bandwagon, if you don't start to adapt and expand your center, I'm going to use that word expand and expansion almost every single episode. If you don't continue to evolve, unfortunately, the writing is on the wall. Now, I'm not going to share this next piece to scare you, but I'm a realist. The statistics are showing that as high as 1 in 3 childcare centers will be out of business in the next 12 months. 33%. That number is insane to me. So I recently got my master's dissertation, actually from a university just a little bit outside of London called Warwick. So they were ranked the top online MBA program in the world. So that's where I wanted to go. And for my master's dissertation paper, I wrote about small business failure. And I interviewed about 100, and I think it was 125, 130 entrepreneurs across the US of all different shapes and sizes, but they had to have certain commonalities. I wasn't interviewing people that had $100 million businesses, but I also wasn't interviewing people that were doing $10,000 a year. And I can tell you that those conversations were the toughest and most emotional conversations I've ever had, that I have ever had. But what I started to realize was that there were certain commonalities among those episodes, or those interviews, rather. One of them, I would say obviously, but maybe it's not as obvious, is cash flow. But that wasn't the number one reason why these businesses closed. Marketing came up in almost every single one of the conversations. Personal struggles, divorce, death, people stealing from the business. There were a lot of personal setbacks. And then finally, just the lack of having a structured plan. Most of these entrepreneurs had absolutely no plan. They didn't know how much cash they would need. They didn't know what steps to take. They didn't know what insurances they needed or business structure. They just started going. And then really the train started falling off the tracks, whether that was 6 months, whether that was 5 years. And I'm going to share a lot of those different things because I do not want you to become one of those 1 in 3 statistics. That is my big why for you. My parent company that I started is a company called No Joke Marketing. And the reason that I named it that is that I fundamentally believe that marketing is the most important function in every single business. Without a marketing machine, without structure around marketing, without investing in marketing, tracking, you are destined to fail. So No Joke Marketing is my educational hub. I've been very fortunate to have written a lot of books. Some of them you can kind of see in the background. Got some fun things in the background, and I'll maybe share one fun thing on each episode. I've got one fun one that I'll point out in just a second. But I've written a bunch of books on marketing. The most recent book was called Recession Marketing. So if you can guess where I think the economy is headed, that's the title of that book. I've been able to run the guerrilla marketing company. So if you've done any research on marketing, one of the first books on marketing was written in 1984, the year that I was born, titled Guerrilla Marketing. And I had the privilege of actually running that company for 3.5, 4 years as their chief marketing officer. So I was hand trained by J. Conrad Levinson, the father of guerrilla marketing. They've sold, I believe, 25 million copies of their books. So I'm going to infuse some of those things for you. One of the things in the background is my original business certificate. And I looked at it right before this episode, and it was January of 2000. So 21 years ago, and the company was called MST Designs. And the interesting thing was I was not old enough to actually get a DBA, a doing business as license. So my father had to sign the certificate. So I've been doing this whole game of entrepreneurship from a very young age, but I've realized that marketing and the money aspect are the two core areas that are going to make or break your business. Now, in this industry, obviously, people, I would completely argue, obviously, is a third. But I've really immensely focused on marketing. So you're going to see a lot of great stuff on marketing. But I eat, sleep, breathe entrepreneurship. And I want this so badly for you. I want this so badly for you. My main agency, marketing agency that I own, is called Local Childcare Marketing. We've been servicing and serving the childcare space for 11 years. We're the largest marketing agency serving the space. We're working with hundreds of childcare center owners every single day to grow their businesses, to fix their website, improve their reputation, drive enrollments, to track their leads using a proprietary CRM tool that we designed. That's the core business. And that allows me to continue to be connected with what's going on with the industry every single day. So we're only going to be presenting things that are working based on what we're seeing. All real-time stuff. All real-time stuff. So that's a little bit more about me professionally. Personally, I've got 4 kids. I'm married. I live in upstate New York, Buffalo, New York, to be exact. I've got a little dog named Bella. I love to travel, and I'm just so grateful to be on this journey with you. I am going to give you everything that I have got in this show. I don't want you to have to buy $10,000 masterminds and $5,000 courses. I will give you everything that you need to be successful. I am making it my mission to help as many childcare centers as I possibly can, because you are making the biggest impact in the community. You are making the biggest impact. So I only find it right or my duty, my obligation to make sure that you succeed, to make sure that you can continue thriving, to make sure that you can continue to make that impact that you want to make, that impact that you set out to make, but something set you back, whether it's the financials or any of the craziness going on or competition or staff. We're going to tackle all of those. And I promise you, I will give it everything that I have to make sure that you come out of the other side and that you continue to make that impact. That is why I call it the childcare bridge. We're going to bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to go. And we're going to do it each and every week. We're going to keep bridging the gap so that the gap no longer exists. And you build this bulletproof business. You build a business that has a moat around it, that it's impenetrable. That's the right word. So that it lasts and stands the test of time. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. Without you, this show does not exist. So make sure you tune into the next episode. I cannot wait to continue expanding your business with you and helping you with everything that I've got. Have a great day.